Welcome back to Sports Talk ATL. I am Chase Earl, joined by Alex Ord. We had a massive game in the Big Ten, one of three big games we'll have in this entire conference because the conference is an absolute joke out of these three teams. But I'm not even sure that these three teams aren't all jokes themselves. Listen, I really want to ask the question, right? Because Penn State looked terrible. Drew Allard is not a good quarterback. They had no cohesion on offense. They couldn't convert a third down. And listen, there's credit to Ohio State's defense. That is a legitimate defense. It might be the best defense in the country up there with the Michigans, and if Georgia can get things coming around. But it by itself might be the best defense in the country. Is this game more about Ohio State's dominant defense or Penn State just being an absolute lackadaisical offense that cannot move the ball? Because that's kind of what they've been. Even against the bad teams, it's been defense, bad offense, defense, bad offense. They suffocate you. But against Ohio State, they were able to make a couple plays. It was close for most of the game. Not a lot on either side. Is Ohio State really as good? Like, are they a legit? Are they? Can they win the national championship with this kind of offense? Is guess what I'm asking.
I don't think so at all. Their defense, give credit where credit is due. Their defense is very good, easily top 10, arguably top 5, right there with Penn State, right there with Michigan. I texted you guys that 2023 Big Ten football is 2000s, early 2000s SEC football. Like, it's like instead of keeping up with the times and these high-flying attacks, Ohio State was known for that. But, when you don't have a generational passer, can't really do anything. They look like 2000s SEC offenses and defenses. It's absolutely stunning that they're trying to win football games in this day and age like that. They absolutely cannot. And the only team in the Big Ten that I would, put my weight behind in winning a national title is Michigan. For the third year in a row, they will win this. They will win this conference. They will beat Ohio State, and they will punch their ticket to the college football playoff. They're just a much better. They have the best quarterback in the division or conference. They have arguably the best defense, and they probably have the best coach. I want to talk a little bit about James Franklin and the job that he's done. He does a lot in the offseason. Great recruiting classes. This is the best Penn State team he's probably ever had. Drew Allard was, many people might not remember, he was highly sought after in his recruiting class. Highly. Everybody thought this guy was, and when Penn State got him, they were like, oh, this kid is going to be for real. He's going to lead Penn State. He's going to get Penn State over that hump, over the Ohio State, Michigan hump, get him into the Big Ten championship. Win that, punch his ticket. No. James Franklin has not developed a single quarterback in his time at Penn State. And Drew Allard's got the stuff. He's got the physical ability to be a good quarterback at this level. I think it has, to answer your question, long-winded answer, I think it has more to do with Penn State's shortcomings than it does Ohio State's, impressive win. I think it has way more to do with James Franklin's a fraud. I said it before the season, and I'll say it now. He's one of the most overpaid head coaches in football. Win 9-3, 10-3. That's it. And that's what the best Nittany Lions are going to get, which is a shame because they should be in the conversation for the national title.
Yeah, there's no reason. I mean, listen, I want to second your point on James Franklin. I mean, obviously there's something wrong there. I mean, the guy hasn't won on the road against a top 10 opponent, and that's basically just Michigan and Ohio State every year, just losing to them every year. And at a certain point, you cannot tolerate that. I don't know if Penn State's going to fire him because they're probably going to win a New Year's Six Bowl or something like that. But at the end of the day, he's not getting you over the hump. You can look at Georgia as kind of the template. Like, they had a guy who just wasn't getting him over the hump, and Mark Richt, they go to Kirby Smart. Now, it's not easy to go out there and get a Kirby Smart, but you got to start thinking about this if you're Penn State, because you have all the necessary tools in terms of money and NIL and facilities to be up there with Michigan, Ohio State. And right now, you just aren't. The second thing is I want to credit Ryan Day. And the reason that I'm crediting Ryan Day is not because I think Ohio State is this juggernaut that's going to be able to defense their way to a championship. But he has clearly put an emphasis on this Ohio State defense to get them to this point, which is a point that they haven't been over the last few years. Now, the offense, unfortunately, isn't where Ohio State is usually at, but Ryan Day's an offensive coach. I expect him over these next few years to get back to where that offense was once they get the right quarterback in the building, whether that's McCord or someone else. The defense, though, is now building a foundation where once they get that right quarterback, Ohio State's going to be a problem. And I have to give Ryan Day some credit because he's been ridiculed, mocked, whatever you want to say, for not winning big games and not being able to play defense. This defense has taken huge strides, and they are legit. They might be the best defense in the country. Unfortunately, I don't think they have the offense to do it. But you got to give a little bit of credit to Ryan Day for what he's, realizing what this team needed. And building it and getting the right guys in the building. So I give credit to there, and it'll be interesting to see how the rest of the season plays out. Coming up, Alabama, huge second half against Tennessee. We are going to break it down.